Frank Monday. Yay! Tuning in once again at 6:30 a.m. Broadcasting to you from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone OP King. This is Frank Monday coming at you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be, whenever you may be, whoever you may be, and wherever you may be. Welcome back. For some reason, I lost my connection a minute ago, and so I had to reboot and retool and restream. Yeah, so here we are once again. Oh God, at the traffic, huh? All right. This guy hasn't got it figured out yet. Doesn't exactly know how to drive. That's okay. We'll just let him roll around at 40 miles an hour on a highway that's supposed to be 120 miles an hour. So going 1/3 the speed, that's all right. Get on up out the way, bitch. I said get on up out the way. I said move your big old ass out my way, beow. I'm moving and grooving and jamming to the tunes. Yeah, so I was saying one thing I did get to do that was fun was I participated in Occult Priestess's live stream. She did a dream interpretation live stream with a gal named Christy. And so I got to hang out in their chat room and listen to them banter. So that was fun. You can check out the restream if she leaves it up. I don't know if she will or not. But she actually said that I'm the one who inspired her to live stream. I think that's how she worded it. Or she saw me live streaming and she thought, I ought to live stream too. That would be fun. So yeah, good times. The topic was basically, like I said a moment ago, dream interpretation through Jung, I believe, Carl Gustav Jung. I gave some Steiner quotes while I was in the chat room, and she said Heil Hitler, and I was like, what? So I guess Steiner at some point in his career was a Nazi sympathizer. Not sure. I didn't know that. I just read his lectures and listen to the audiobooks presented by the Rudolf Steiner Archives. He did a lot of lectures about 100 years ago, some of them pretty good. I've got one lecture that I downloaded in pamphlet form, and it's actually in my bag, and I'm going to go over it. And it's how to communicate with those who have passed in the unseen sphere. And so he gives like a 3-step process and examines how it works. So that'll be interesting. Look forward to that in the future. I'm thinking about just taking the whole pamphlet. It's only about, I think, maybe 20 pages long, and rewriting the whole thing. I don't think any Steiner material is under copyright because it has been over 100 years since he was alive. That would mean that his material's in the public domain. So I'll check into that. If that is a fact, if it is in the public domain, then I'll definitely re-edit that one pamphlet and come up with a catchy title for it. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just use it as a bibliographical source and then just make my own pamphlet on communicating with the dead. So a bit of necromancy, yeah, if that's your thing, which it certainly is part of one's spiritual journey. Hey, look, Gimme Death or Gimme Freedom's out in the chat. Welcome. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever and whenever you may be. Hey, Monsieur Tiedrick's out there too. Hello, Jeff. How are ya? Try as I might, over the weekend, I spent a lot of time sleeping, so that was good. But I tried several times to do a live stream over the weekend and just couldn't fit it in, man. Typically, my kids have my children, Dresden and Amber, have some regular weekend classes, especially on Sunday. So that usually gives me the opportunity to live stream. But this weekend, all but one of Dre's classes were canceled for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so he was home with me all day, Saturday and Sunday. And oh, it's the end of the semester here. So all the youngins are getting ready for their finals, right? You got midterms, then you got finals. And so I worked on organizing my desk area, which was a losing battle because my wife has started using it for storage of sundries now that I'm at the office 5 days a week. She feels like my little desk area can just be used for storage, which is all right, but it means that I gotta sit over in the kitchen when I do a live stream, and that's no fun. So I was trying to organize my environment, and I met with some success, but I didn't get everything done that I wanted to get done. But yeah, I spent a lot of time doing domestic duties, cooking and cleaning and organizing and looking through my paperwork and so on, because it's the last week of classes, and then next week all the kids take their finals, and the same is true for my kids too, and then we're out for winter vacation. So yeah, after next week there won't be any more live Drive Jive archive anyway, but I'll be doing random live streaming, and it'll give me an opportunity to work on some more polished presentation videos. Can you guys hear me all right? If you can hear me out in Happy Land, give me a yo. You know how I like them yos, man. That really puts the lead in the pencil, the pep in the step. It fills a person with enthusiasm and vigor, fires up that divine spark of freedom that dwells in the breast of man. Wow, something's happened. All right, I got a yo from Gimme Death or Freedom. Something's happened out in Ideas Land, guys, that I cannot read because I am exiting the superhighway as we speak. And the old troll who lives under the bridge up here, he will want his ounce of blood. His pound of flesh. So something happened with Gimme Death or Gimme Freedom. Y'all, it's been a big prayer week if you're into praying. You know, if you do the old what is it? Finagle Ithagin Relie Cthulhu. If you do that type of thing, then put a little positive energy out there for Dr. Joseph Farrell. He had a severe heart attack last week and underwent emergency cardiovascular surgery. Not sure exactly what the situation is, but you can learn more about it on 你好，谢谢. You can learn more about it on Dark Journalist. I don't know if he addressed it or not, but one of our favorite people, the man who brought you the sci-fi fantasy Freemasonic Disneyland Club 33 NASA paperclip Space Nazis, that famous man of Yettersham, right? Dr. Joseph Patrick Farrell. He's in a bad way, guys. As far as I know, he He had emergency heart surgery, and he is recovering. So prayers to him. And it looks like Gimme Death or Gimme Freedom is going to need a prayer circle too, a prayer vigil, light a candle. Good magic. I will check the chat here when I get to work, when I get to the yard. We're looking at a good solid 20 minutes of chat time with you guys. Prayers all around, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. You guys be careful out there in Happy Land. Realize that, you know, you don't have to, you could just say no to things like the rewards card. You know, like they're like, if you get 10 coffees, you get a free donut. You could just be like, nah, I don't really need that, you know. Don't buy into something you don't really need just because it's presented as being free. So that's my advice there, and I'm gonna keep it right there. David Polides, whatever his name is, of Missing 411, Can-Am Missing Project. He got a community strike the other day for running his mouth reckless, you know? And they wanted to remind him that freedom of speech is just a long forgotten ideal of a once great constitutional republic of the United States, and that it no longer applies in the New World Order or global tyranny. They will not tolerate differing opinions from the MSN, the mainstream narrative. So watch your P's and Q's, watch your back. A lot of folks are migrating over to Rumble. They say that defunct President Donald Trump is opening a new website called like Truth Tellers or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Sorry to hear that. Gimme Death. Hey, look, Diane's out there in the ideas room. Hello, Diane. Jeff's out there. Man, I got some bad news today. My brother overdosed on fentanyl. We're making his funeral arrangements. Sad day around my house. Wow, man, that is bad news, man. I'm sorry to hear that. How old was your brother? Freedom Traveler. Fentanyl, huh? That's some gnarly stuff, man. I heard a story from the intelligence community, actually, back around when I started investigating fentanyl, and found out that like 99% of it comes right out of southern China and gets shipped to the United States. And I was like, wow, how are they figuring out how to do all that? And why are they shipping so much fentanyl into the US? And they call it flakka on the street, right? Very powerful, very dangerous stuff. And it's kind of a rebuttal for the opium wars, right? Because the British came over here and dealt opium to the Central Kingdom for 100 years. And in fact, they litigated that the Chinese had to accept opium, and it became a real problem in the Central Kingdom. And when I heard about the fentanyl exports, that 99% of it was coming out of China, I thought, well, that seems like poetic justice somehow. But it's really a bad situation. I've got a younger cousin, female gal, that got involved with that shit as a teenager. And I thought, how could a little town in rural America of like, the whole county has 40,000 people, how could it have such an opioid epidemic? Like flakka and Oxycontin and all codeine and all kinds of other shit on the street, and making it its way into the hands of children. And I thought, how could that be possible? And then I looked a little deeper into it. It looks like law enforcement is the one leading it up. So CIA is also known, AKA the Cocaine Importation Agency, right? So they've been, there's white papers that have been released. I don't have my hands on any right now to show you, but how they have a strategy of decimating the American middle class by way of illicit drug distribution in the United States. So it's an institutionalized thing, you know, the old 1992 president-elect, he was big in it, you know. They're out of Arkansas, And so I guess they were able to withdraw from Afghanistan recently in opium production because the flak is such a big thing. Anyway, an intelligence community guy told me, he said that they didn't even have the legal right to check the cargo vessels coming out of China, that they're able to load those things up with anything they want, and that US Customs can't even look into the cargo vessels as they come out of Chinese ports and into US ports. And so that stuff just comes over. They ship whatever they want, because you realize that it's not a China-US divide, that Russia, the United States, and China are one 90 trillion a year global superstate, and that these regions that they call by national names are not actually sovereign countries anymore, that they're all under one banner of corporate globalism. So I know some people really feel strongly about, our country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, to thee I sing. Land of the pilgrim's pride, land of blah blah blah, and so on and so on. From every mountainside let freedom ring. But that old fairy tale has been non-existent since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was put into power, and then, when they assassinated the last free president, JFK, back in 1963, November 22nd, 1963, the American dream was kind of laid to rest. And since then, it's just been a corporate oligarchy that nowadays we know as a technocracy. So I got into this conversation with a guy in a Cult Priestess live stream yesterday. He said, yeah, if we've still got weapons, then we've got freedom, if we have our gun rights and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but when was the last time you got out your rifle and watered the tree of freedom with a little bit of tyranny blood? And it's just like, yeah. I do agree with holding on to all of the Bill of Rights as well as you can. That's the one divide between you and total global tyranny. But to think that it's anything other than one global superstate is a little bit erroneous. I've been around the world, and I've seen that it, like the global lockdown shows us, if that doesn't wake you up to the fact that it's all one global system, I think, you've been drinking too much corporate Kool-Aid. Yeah, I can't keep up with it. Hey, Jeff, thanks for telling us Frank was on. Okay, what's going on out there? You spent all last night asking Ian, Frank Monday, when is Frank Monday? Frank Monday, Frank Monday! I love you, baby. Yeah, I used to do stand-up comedy. People out in the crowd would heckle me, and they'd be like, hey, Frank Monday, suck a dick. And I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be like, sorry, bro. I don't go that way. That's not the way Frank Monday plays. So, yeah, a lot going on out in Happy Land. I lost my train of thought when I looked at the chat there back at the red light. But now I have pulled on to Plum Blossom Lane, where the old wizard hobbles up and down the lane, relying on his cane in clear and palpable pain, gibbering inane. To watch him is a pain and driving me insane. Munch, 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 crunch, crunch, crunch. He eats cicadas for his lunch. Oh, how tasty and sweet to eat the cicada meat. Succulent and Succulent and what? Succulent and decadent. As if they're heaven sent. What do? They climb out of the ground and then they get into the trees and scratch their legs together, mumbling on the breeze, with round bulbous eyes, refusing to fly. I pick them off the tree, 1, 2, 3, and shove them in my gob. Munch, 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 crunch, 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 cicadas for my lunch. Yeah, you gotta watch your P's and Q's on old Plum Blossom Lane. See, there's just people up here pulling into traffic, giving zero fucks. Very dangerous. That's all right. It's only a brief jaunt for me, and then I pull off it and I'm back onto a regular road. "'Twas down the glen one Easter tide to a city fair rode I. There armored lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No fife did hum nor battle drum did sound its dread tattoo, but the Angelus bells or the Liffey swell rang out through the foggy dew. Right proudly high over Dublin town they flung out the flag of war. Said 'twas better to die 'neath an Irish sky than at Suvla or Sudelbar. And from the plains of Royal Mead strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's Huns with their long-range guns sailed in through the foggy dew. 'Twas England's bade our wild geese go, that small nations might be free, and their lonely graves are by Suvla's waves on the fringe of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pierce's side, or fought with noble Cattlebrew, their names we'd keep where the Fenians sleep, 'neath the shroud of the foggy dew. And to and fro in my dreams I go, and I kneel and pray for you, for those who died that Easter tide in the springtime of the year. That's the way it goes right there, the foggy dew. As far as I know, I got it pretty much near 100% correct. I don't believe I missed a verse, but I might have. I might still have missed a verse, but I don't think I did. I think I got it right. Anyway, yeah, so I told you guys that I was going to do some research on Irish songs, Irish folk songs over the weekend, which I did do. And I watched a couple of presentations on Napper Tandy, and turns out he was a 19th century, 1800s Irish gentleman who fought against the Brits as they oppressed the Irish people. There's so much history there, though, man, that I barely cracked the surface. And one song, like a song like The Foggy Dew, for example, has got so many references in it that I'm unfamiliar with that it's going to take me more than one weekend of research to be able to get my head around it. But it looks like there's a lot of history there with Ireland. And even just over the last couple hundred years, it seems like those old redcoats have been oppressing the Irish people for quite a while. So I have arrived at the yard, y'all, and I got a good solid 5 minutes to check the chat. So it looks like it's been busy out there in Happy Land in the Ideas Room. I started rewatching the TV series Fringe, and it turns out that TV series was actually the executive producer and main writer on that was J.J. Abrams. I did not know that. I watched Fringe a few years ago, and I didn't know that J.J. Abrams made it. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought Fringe was a great TV show with the Bishops, William Bishop, and his Harvard basement laboratory where he makes LSD and does experiments into the paranormal and the unseen sphere. Really a lot of fun. Oh God, are you serious? My charger for some reason isn't working, and it says my battery is about to die. But I don't think it will. I turned on my car so that maybe it'll keep charging my phone. Yeah, so watch Fringe if you haven't already. The first season has like an hour and 30-minute pilot, and then each episode's like 50 minutes long, and there's like 20 episodes in the first season. I think the first season is pretty much the best one on Fringe. It seems like they did 5 seasons, but I only remember watching like maybe season 1 and 2. All right, so let's figure out what's going on out here. Number 1, I don't know if Give Me Death or Freedom. Yeah, he put it in the chat, so it seems like I can mention it. Yeah, so there was a problem with Flakka, and you're right. They want revenge for the Opium War, and they're getting it. They're literally decimating European countries with the importation of Flakka, and you could see what a global racket it is because they're able to export it worldwide without anybody challenging them. And like I said, I talked to a guy, U.S. intelligence agency over here in Beijing, and he said we're not even allowed to check the because I asked him, I said, how is so much of it getting out and exported to the West? And he's like, well, he said, as you may be suspicious, it's one global system, and our customs people aren't even allowed to look at what they're exporting. That they load up the cargo vessels, and it's all it's all above their pay grade. So when they say national security, they mean national security for the elite, not for the plebes. The plebes are meant to kill themselves on opiates and give up all their land back to the crown. Yeah, so I spent the weekend doing housework and watching Fringe. Fringe, Fringe. It's an old TV series that investigates the paranormal and what's called the pattern. So the idea is when you start doing your magic, you can create a pattern, a magical pattern that will disrupt the current mainstream pattern. Yeah, old Plum Blossom Lane, I made it, Sandra. Don't you worry a bit. I'm the best driver out there. Hey, Sandra Sue's out there. Hello, Sandra Sue. How are you? Yeah, Diane's out there. Welcome, everyone. I was bleeding subs over the weekend, and then I went into Occult Priestess live stream, and she gave me a bump. She said, hey, everybody go over there and sub Frank Monday. He's a good guy. And so my subs jumped back up from I had bled like 3 or 4 subs over the weekend, and then it jumped back up. So I recovered some subs from the Occult Priestess live stream. So I should return the favor. You guys look up Occult Priestess and sub her channel if you would. Tell her that Frank Monday sent you. Say, yeah, well, Frank Monday told me to check you out. Yeah, Tennessee's nice. I have some, I got some land in Tennessee. Mountains in Tennessee are beautiful. That's a fact. Summer in Tennessee is humid and hot. That's right, and lots of bugs. Colorado's nice. I'd like to Gatlinburg, Shiloh, Knoxville, Nashville. Let's see. Oh, Little Fish is out there. Hi, Little Fish. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Say hello to your daughter for me, Little Fish. I haven't seen Paul in a while. Yeah, to reiterate, I didn't live stream over the weekend because I actually did 2 short ones, but my kids were home. Their regular extracurricular classes were canceled. And so I just stayed home and played with my children and watched TV a lot. And read. Oh, I read a lot of Steiner. I downloaded some Steiner pamphlets off the internet and printed them up so that I can work on them throughout the week. Because we're just, it's the last week of classes here at the academy. And then next week, all of the kids take their finals. So I'm just preparing my finals for my 5 classes this week and reviewing with them. Reviewing the semester, and then it'll be the end of the semester. Oh, good God, isn't that going to be nice? I think we're going to have like 6 weeks vacation. Yeah, if you didn't get a notification over the weekend or today, make sure that you check your sub button and ring Pavlov's bell, because I've noticed that they've unsubbed quite a few people over the weeks. My numbers jumped from like, once I broke 200, I picked up about another 10 or 15, and it jumped up to like 225, and then it dropped back down to like 218 subs. And so the algorithm is making corrections somehow. So either people are unsubbing in droves, or YouTube is unsubbing you. So if you are participating in the live streams, then they probably will unsub you, because they don't want me to get popular. Yeah, Fringe is good. Check it out if you get a chance. A lot of fun. Yeah, Little Fish, I agree with you. When I got involved in listening to a lot of Irish folk music and reading about the history, it angered me too. And I had the same idea. I'm like, why don't we, American-born Irish, just put together a militia and go back there and re-seize the island and kick everyone out that's causing trouble? Have an old Bastille Day. Monsieur Tiedrick, I want to do live streams on the weekend, guys, and once the semester lets up, if I'm going to get myself an Ethernet cable, and if you want to participate in a live stream, let me know. Hey, Owen's out there. Greetings, Owen. Greetings and salutations. Out in the old Emerald Isle. Looks like people dipped in for a second to say hello and then left. We're back down to two people in the ideas room. Metaverse is here, and we can buy virtual property and buy clothes from Nike, etc. for your avatar. I never get notifications. Yeah, make sure you guys, now it's dropped to 0. I guess that's it. I guess everybody left, and I wasn't even finished live streaming. Little Fish says, I do want to call in one day, but I need to figure out the microphone and all that annoying tech stuff. Yeah, me too. Here's the thing, Little Fish. This is the way I roll. If you always wait for everything to be perfect, then you'll never do it, because nothing will ever be perfect. And so like me, I just fucking roll with the punches. I mean, if I wouldn't have got live streaming, like I had my wife try to buy me a microphone online, and like 2 or 3 times, and they all sucked. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go live with my phone and my laptop and keep trying to get a microphone and a good camera setup and an Ethernet cable and all of that stuff. But if I wait on everything to line up perfect, it'll never happen. So just pull the trigger and go live and fucking roll with the punches. Let the cards fall where they may. All that good happy horse shit. Because nothing ever lines up perfect. Like with jobs, I go out looking for jobs, and I'm like, if I just keep waiting for the perfect job to show up, then that'll never happen. So why not just make myself the perfect employee and then just, you know, let everything else worry about itself. So I gave up worrying a long time. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sandra Sue is one of the biggest worrywarts I've ever met. And they say that you'll learn most of your like personal paradigm from your primary caregiver. So if your primary caregiver is like a huge worrywart and worries everything to death, then some of that will rub off on you. So I've spent 3 decades trying to break through the worry of life, because life isn't lived by worrying, life is lived by living. And one day you're going to check out anyway, right? And you're going to follow that innumerable caravan across the Stygian star-filled sky to that westerly divine celestial realm, the golden shore of the timeless homeland, where each shall take their place in the silent halls of death, you know. And hopefully people will remember you for having carpe diem, you know, seize the day. Living is for the living. And Steiner says we should treat our dead well and we should communicate with them. I know some believe they pass on to a realm that's unreachable, but I don't know. I'm going to go through that Steiner pamphlet and I'm going to make it a part of the 100-Day Magical Challenge. And I'm going to present the exercises that he gives in it in a modern, intelligible way that can be of service to people. Because I think Steiner penetrated the veil on a lot of areas. And if you want some insight into how the magic mind works, sit down and listen through H.P. Lovecraft's audiobook that you can find online here on YouTube, Through the Gates of the Silver Key. And that'll give you some indication of the kind of magic that I do, right? The silver key is Mercury. It's the mercurial factor. And why does the silver key open the gate? I won't tell you all the secrets right now, but you can figure it out as you come along on the 100-day magical journey. We'll reboot at the time of the spring equinox. So hopefully I'll have all of my pamphlets published and ready for consumption if you are interested in that. The first third of the 100-Day Magical Challenge includes understanding things like volantia, decreeism, and paucism. The second stage is my interpretation of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which is a really easy banishing ritual you can learn to do, which can really wake up your magic. And then part 3 is just, I've already got my video on here, is my guide through Israel Regardie's The Middle Pillar ritual. So I'm going to include all of the accoutrements and basic magical knowledge lectures that you will need in the 100-Day Magical Challenge to initiate yourself into a basic modern magic practice, including Hebrew alphabet and its associations, the tarot and its associations, the Fool's Journey, and hopefully we can get Little Fish on board and she can help us out with the astrotheology and the astrology part, because she understands that part of it far better than I do. I'm a practical magician. I'm a natural magician, and I've just been practicing it since I was a little boy. And so learning about it over the last 30 years has taken quite a bit of time, right? Because when you know the magic on the level of gnosis and intuition, and you feel like, I don't need to study, but you do, because learning the hermetic science, the scientific aspect of magic, grounds your practice, and it gives you the paradigms that will keep you safe when you practice. So you can get out there like me and just whip out your magic wand and start casting spells left and right. But the problem is you may create a dangerous situation for yourself. So the 100-Day Magical Challenge is all about learning the parameters of ceremonial and ritual magic that will protect you as you travel along your magical journey. So if that sounds interesting to you, continue to join me here on the channel. Or if you just like tuning in, and it's not witchcraft, Diane, and it's not dabbling in witchcraft. This is angelic magic, which is sanctioned by Yahweh. So the greatest invocation in this system of magic is Yod He Vav He, which is the tetragrammaton of Jewish mysticism. So it's my specific system of magic is not witchcraft. It's angelic ceremonial magic. I mean, you stand before God and you ask his blessing and you invoke the archangels of the four quadrants to protect you and live within your magical circle, right? So as you're facing east, you invoke before me Raphael, behind me Gabriel, at my right hand Mikael, at my left hand Oriel. For about me flame the pentagrams, and within me shines a six-rayed star. Good magic, yeah. So this is angelic magic that's done openly in front of God and his angels with his approbation. So, I mean, either take it or leave it. It's what I present on this channel, so that's the way it works. I hope y'all good-looking, sexy people stay well out in Happy Land. Keep on keeping on. Make sure to give me a yo in the comments section and hit the thumbs up if you like my work and you want to join me on the 100-Day Magical Challenge, or if you just want to tune in and listen to me banter occasionally. I love y'all good-looking, sexy people. As above, so below, as we wander into the abodes of the future. Until we meet again, good magic.